Welcome back to another video. Today's video is top tips for Path of Exile 2. Jump straight into the first one here. Salvaging gear. Find items like this with sockets, or items like this with superior front. You can salvage these at the salvage table, which you will gain access to in Act 1. Next handy little tip is if you want to keep something on the screen, there's a little pin here. You can hold Alt, click the pin, and drag this window around. Always handy if you want to compare something, or just keep something on the screen for reference, then click the X to close. Here we are at the Salvage Bench now. Just give you an example of what match you'll get. Salvage the socketed item, 2 artificial shards. These are used to socket your gear. And then the superior item we picked up here, disenchant this. You get Arcanist's Etchers, and these will be used to improve the quality. 1 staff receptor. You also get ones for weapons as well. Next up, check vendors. They can have some very interesting items. I've myself upgraded a few of my items from vendors. Very powerful, also very powerful bases. Look at this here, is potentially a good base for a sorcerer's build, or witch potentially. Really high spell damage and cast speed base. Turn this into a rare and then start piling on the stats with exalts. Could turn into a very powerful item. Always worth checking. Just seeing what they have. Fairly low gold investment, and you could potentially have a pretty good upgrade. Next up, which item is going to give you more DPS? Which weapon is better? Simple way to check this: press G, open up your skills tab. You can see here the damage. By changing weapon, you can have a instant indication of which weapon will give you, better performance. Another way is obviously just switching between 2 weapons on the same screen. You can see that one is clearly stronger. This is just a very quick and dirty way of seeing, which one is better to be using for DPS. Next up, I'm going to be heading back to Act 1, checking vendors for socketed and quality based items to salvage at the salvage table. As you can see here, very low gold. You can pick up these potentially on alts as well. If you have any alts, the lower level the better, because the cost will be less. I mean, as you progress in the game, you have so much gold that it doesn't really matter. It's an easy way to go through and just scan quickly, see if anything's got sockets or it's got quality on it. It will give you the mats at the salvage table. Next tip, make sure that all bosses with the plus symbol are completed. These will give you extra stats and also give you passive skill points. Next tip, make sure you're always using the Hoodie one to identify items, as this is free and will cost you no gold, especially helpful at early stage of the game. Next on the list, checkpoints. These will refresh your health and mana potions. Also, you can travel between multiple checkpoints on the same area. This saves backtracking. Next up, enemy health bars. Also player health bars as well, above your head. I find these are very helpful in certain situations. I just like having them on. You can enable them in interface and options. See here, just enemies only. Or there's the option to have your health bar and mana pool above your head as well. Saves you having to look down the bottom of the screen. I find it especially helpful in darker areas with, smaller mobs, potentially. I just find it easier to see, and helpful to see every enemy's life. And I find it easier to locate and spot enemies as well at the same time. Next up, we have linking items in chat. Simply hold Ctrl-Alt, click the item, it will link in the chat for you. Helpful for sharing to friends, guild, or potentially selling items. Next up, we have support gems. When looking at your gem screen, you can see the recommended skills. You can click down here and see all the gems available. Can be sorted by strength, dexterity, or intelligence-based gems based on color. Also click down here as well. Untick the show recommended gems. This will show you all support gems that are available to be used with that skill. Want to reset an instance? Simply come to the map, hold Control, left click, and click New. Running past checkpoints will refill your life and mana potions. Also, killing mobs will give you charges. In turn, this will refill them as well. The harder the mob, so i.e. a rare mob, will refill your health and mana potions more than a white mob would, as you can see here. Clicking this small arrow on your skill screen next to the DPS will give you a breakdown and more detailed stats of each skill. You can also select which weapon set you want to use as well. So like here, if I select weapon 2, I'll use my two-handed weapon to do leap slam. You can set this so it enables you to use different skills, different weapon sets, without having to use the weapon change button. Automatically change weapon sets for you as you press the skill. So now, leap, you can see, changes weapons. If I do a two-handed mace hit, it will change back. That wraps up this video. I'm curious, please leave a comment on which class you're finding the most fun to play and what stage of the game you're currently at. Also, any other tips to help other players would be amazing. If you've got this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. If you could drop a like, consider subscribing, that would be very much appreciated, as my goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by June. Thanks again for watching. Catch you next time. Bye bye.